This is Aaron Levine, LG Insurance, with another episode of And Insurance. And today we've got Kahlil Cunningham from Heartland Payment Systems. Did I say that right?
You said it right.
Is that the right name? Okay,
Absolutely.
Good. I know them as Heartland Payroll, but they also do a whole heck of a lot more, including credit card processing, some HR, human capital management, as we call it. What other services does Heartland offer?
You know, Heartland is a full-service business technology firm. And we get involved in all of the most important aspects of a person running the business.
Okay.
You think about it, what is more important to a business than the way that they collect money from people, right? So we're in that space.
Or give it out to their employees.
Right, the collecting piece of it. So we're on a payments piece. We do online payments. We do credit card payments.
Okay.
We do that processing piece. And we also, of course, we do payroll.
And
right,
payroll.
and we do HR.
So you do some point of sale stuff as well, right?
Yep, point of sale. That will be the credit card piece of it.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
We actually also get involved in lending.
Oh. We'll have to talk about that later.
Yeah, we have a really robust business technology solution.
Okay.
So we can go into any client and help them out.
Okay.
That's the work that we do. We are entrepreneurs serving entrepreneurs. We go out and help people out. But
you're not like some of the other competitors on the block. We're not going to name any names, although everybody listening knows who I'm talking about. The reason we work well together is because you like to integrate with insurance agents and insurance companies to refer business back and forth and allow us to maintain the relationship on the workers' comp, which we do a great job of.
Right.
And then we can bring in Heartland and integrate our workers' comp on a pay-as-you-go basis. So we're going to get into that in a little bit. But Kahlil, how did you get involved with Heartland? How long have you been with Heartland? Give me a little bit of your background.
Aaron, I've been in the HCM, the payroll space for 20 years.
Wow.
Right? 18 years of that time was with one of those competitors that we speak about. And let me tell you something. One of the distinguishing factors in Heartland, my world here at Heartland, and what I've experienced and what I've been a part in the past, I have a story. I remember kind of being in a leadership role, a competitor, right? And we had a client who had an issue. There was an issue where, the client processed the payroll, didn't quite have the money to cover the payroll. And then that provider went in and pretty much cleared out these guys' bank account in minimum monthly and missed overdraft fees.
Right.
I'm talking to our team, and I said, hey, listen, guys, can we fix this for the client? Right? The response I got from management was, we're responsible to our stockholders. Right? This is our business model.
Right.
Heartland, we're a subsidiary of Global Payments.
Okay.
Right? So we're not publicly traded directly as a company. The thing I love about working here at Heartland is our responsibility is to you, our partners, and directly to that entrepreneur business person that we work directly with.
Okay.
And that's the main thing and thing that distinguishes us from, I think, the other guys out there.
So you've obviously been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
So you've seen how competition works. You've seen how technology has grown within the system.
Absolutely.
Which I think is pretty cool. Payroll in many cases is looked at as a commodity trade. Right. There's been some past business.
It's a mistake that people make in trying to look at it in that commodity trade space.
It's a relationship. It's a relationship that we're all in, right? And I always say, people buy from people.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason why we buy from Kahlil and his team, and there's a reason why other business owners do the same thing, right? Selling a piece of business, and then the rep drops off is not being in the people business. So it's important to stay in touch, and then there's always opportunity to enhance that. But in 2021, there was a hot button that Heartland was talking about, and I wanted to bring you in and talk about that hot button, employee retention credits, right?
It's big, man. It's big.
So what is it? How long is it around for? And spend the next couple minutes talking about what that is and how you can help business owners take advantage.
I mean, ERC. I've been in business 20 years. I told you in this particular line of business, Aaron. It's the first time, like us being able to deliver this for clients, the first time that I've actually literally seen a client so happy about what we were able to deliver for them that they were actually crying. We got one of our restaurant partner clients, $360,000. Right? Can you imagine?
Wow.
Right, coming out of a pandemic.
Right.
Business being, a lot of your businesses are probably beat up and really struggling.
Right.
I love being a part of being able to bring a solution.
So ERC is a pandemic-related program. It's something that came out from the federal government, right?
Employee retention tax credit. It's something that's been put in place to, I guess, reward businesses that were able to sustain employing people throughout the pandemic. Our country is based on employment, being able to hire people, and a lot of people are out there doing hard work to make sure they keep employees in place and take care of those employees.
Right.
So this is a government program that actually goes back and says, "Hey, thank you." Right. It can be, think about employee wages.
Right.
This thing can be 70%. This year, 2021, we can go back and get you a tax credit for 70% of your employee's wages.
Right.
Right. Max $7,000 per quarter.
So you're saying that you're using the phrase tax credit.
Yeah.
Right. Which is a lot different. Right. Like tax credit is top line.
It's money.
Right. That's real money.
Absolutely.
That's not just tax deductible.
Yeah.
Right. Tax deductible is down here, and you get a percentage of that. Tax credit is top line money.
That's money. One of my teammates actually walked into one of our partner banks.
Okay.
Walked into the partner bank. One of her clients is there, cashing his $10,000 ERC refund check.
Nice.
You know how great that feels? That's the kind of work that we do.
So I've seen, there was paycheck protection programs, PPP. Yeah. Then there were some other SBA related government loan things that came out. How does PPP and ERC tie together, or are they two totally separate? Can you get both? Can you get one? Or does that, am I making this complicated now?
Not when we do the work, we'll go in and we'll help clients out, kind of advise them on how to do the calculation to make sure they can maximize the amount of money that they get. Right. One piece of the calculation, very, you guys are on top of it, Aaron, you're on top of it, is that we have to pull out any wages that were paid using PPP money.
Got it.
Got to pull that out of the calculation.
Okay.
Right. We got to pull that out. Now, this has lately become a topic of debate, some of the qualifiers here, right? I have some accountants who are saying that you do not have to exclude the owners and their family from the wages, right? Our information at Heartland that we're going on is that you have to exclude those wages of the owner and their immediate family.
Sounds safer if you have to go that route.
That's the way I go.
You don't have to pay it back if you're going to get it.
Yeah, so have to exclude ERC.
Okay.
So you have to exclude PPP funds.
Right.
You have to exclude owner wages and owner's immediate family wages. That's the way we're doing it. If your accountant comes and says, look, we're pretty comfortable not excluding that. We're absolved. We do absolution letters here where we say we'll put the paperwork together in line with what information you give us.
Right.
That's the way
sign it off.
Yep. Absolutely.
Here's what you want to do. You go ahead and do it, and it's all good. So when does this tax credit run out?
So right now, the new infrastructure bill is saying that going forward, there will be no more ERC.
Okay.
Right. But the work we're doing now is really going back and helping people get their unrealized tax credits.
Okay.
So we're working with clients, sitting down, advising them, looking at their past. So look, you got all of 20, right? You got all of 20.
Right.
You got all of 2021, where you can go back, and there are times that we can go to a client and get those funds back to them. Our competitors, right? Even if we're kind of going in and the person is not doing payroll with us, right? Often it's Heartland who walks in. You got some businesses that may have been doing business with our competitor for years and paying them lots and lots of money. This opportunity comes, and guess what? They didn't go and tell their client they could have gotten all these thousands of dollars.
Right.
We're going in, we'll do the work. Even if they were on a competitor, we'll go back.
It's a great door opener.
And do those returns for them.
Okay.
Fix what the other guy didn't, and do some good work and help some people. That's what we do.
I think that's all great. And I think that's a whole heck of a lot of fun, especially for business owners that have not taken advantage of that or aren't sure. You can reach out to Kahlil and his team at Heartland, and, Kahlil will set you up with, depending on which metro area you're in, he'll find a good rep in your area to come and sit down and talk to you about this. With that program going away, it's all great, but we can still go backwards and find that money. Now, moving into the technology of the solutions that Heartland offers, right? So I love when I can work with Heartland on a case with respect to payroll. I can integrate my workers' compensation on a pay-as-you-go basis through some of my larger companies, and now even the smaller ones, because there's these third-party integrations through SmartPay are a lot more robust than they have been in the past. So we can almost integrate with anybody, which I love.
And Aaron, that's the thing we love about working with you.
Does Heartland charge a fee when we're processing and putting workers' comp together?
There's no fee for the workman's comp, the integration piece of it. That builds into our service. Okay. We have a setup fee, right? Because there's some work we have to do behind the scenes to link everything up. Setup fee's like $150.
I'll eat that most of the time.
Absolutely, right? But
Kahlil and I will work out a deal on that for anybody that wants to get it done. That's no big deal. But there's no additional fees on our end. No. So one thing I always advise people is to look at your payroll invoice, which is never easy to find. No offense to Heartland, still not easy to find. But looking at the invoice directly of whomever you're working with is important to see how things are breaking down, because oftentimes we find that there's a weekly fee to process workers' compensation insurance through a payroll provider, and that's just bad business practice. And we can often get that fee taken away. Heartland doesn't even charge that fee, which is a great promotion for Heartland there, and for us as well. We can make sure we get that integration done with no additional costs and provide the best insurance to value out there. Now, technology-wise, what's on the horizon for 2022? Can you share what's going to be new with Heartland for 2022, or we're just business as usual?
No,
boots on the ground. We're growing and we're trying to. Is there anything new in the product suite?
Aaron, you know what's happening now, right? You're going to restaurants right now, right? You're noticing a difference in the level of service.
Sure.
Right. You got longer wait times when you call into certain service-based organizations.
Right.
And the reason all that's happening is people are having great difficulty finding talent.
Okay.
Big push, right, in our space from Heartland is we're going in talking to people about ways to help them to actually get good talent in.
Oh, nice.
So, we have integration here where we can help people go out, post jobs on the major job boards, and then actually facilitate the process of onboarding those employees in a very seamless electronic fashion.
That's great.
So that's going to be the big push.
Right.
Let's help people go back out and staff their companies.
Right.
And we have the technology to do that.
So especially with companies with higher turnover, like I don't have high turnover, thank God. So if I have to do a paper onboarding, no big deal. Obviously, electronics can be better, but larger restaurants are a great example with high turnover.
Yes, absolutely. All day we're talking to restaurants.
Electronic onboarding, getting the I-9s and the W-4s and all the other compliance paperwork taken care of.
And stored.
Okay.
Right? You're thinking now, look at that risk. Everyone's talking about identity theft.
Sure.
Your new employee comes in. He signs and puts he signs.
Right.
You have paper documents. His identity somehow ends up in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. He's going to say, hey, the last person I gave or shared my identity with is you.
Right.
Right. Now you kind of have a little stopgap measure or somebody standing in between.
Okay.
Where Heartland has that information, and it's a lot more secure than it is in somebody's file cabinet in the back of their office.
Now, there's still a risk if I have to put my insurance hat on.
Yeah.
If Heartland's holding the data, and God forbid there was a breach at Heartland and the data was compromised, the client, and I'm sure the client service agreement from Heartland and the business will say that the client is still responsible for their data, even though Heartland is storing it. You're getting the data, you're providing it to Heartland, right. They're storing it. You still have a duty to your data. Is an important piece that a lot of businesses don't get. They always say, oh, my stuff's in the cloud. I use a third party, I use an Amazon I use AWS, so my stuff is secure. Well, if Amazon has a breach, good luck trying to sue Amazon because they had a breach.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Not going to happen. You're still on the hook for your client information, and we have to explain this often to small and mid-sized businesses that even though it's in the cloud, you are still 100% responsible for that data regardless of what happens. I had a situation where one of my vendors, one of the largest companies in the world, where a lot of my data is stored, had an incident, right?
Okay.
There was I don't know if I want to call it a breach, but we'll just call it a breach for our purposes here. Something happened.
Okay.
And there was an exposure to some data, right? So I had to file a claim with my insurance because we were aware of it. Then we were able to, through some of the back channels, determine if I personally had any exposed data from the data that was exposed at the top level. And it turned out the answer was no. So I didn't have to notify anybody. I had no duty to notify because there was none of my data was a part of that packet, so to speak, that warehouse, that server station that was compromised. So I got lucky. We didn't have to do anything, but my insurance company helped me through that data compromise response to see where we needed to go. And those guys know a lot more than I do. They're a lot smarter than I am, and they make a lot more money than I do. So we let them do what they got to do, and my insurance covered me, and I didn't even have to pay my deductible on that one. So that was excellent. Good, thank God. But that could happen to anybody through anybody's AWS or Google Cloud Storage or Microsoft or wherever it is.
Yeah, but it just beats having that cabinet in the back of your office.
Beating that cabinet's dangerous.
Much more safe than that.
Cleaning people in the office.
Absolutely.
Anybody could be anywhere. Talk to me real quick about your HR suite. So we have the onboarding piece.
Yeah.
Do you help employers with handbooks and any other information?
As you know, Aaron, listen, a great HR package or a great HR infrastructure for your business starts with the handbook. Right. We do have our handbook program. Right. Where we'll assist you in putting together your employee handbook. Okay. We also have a team that you can reach out to. Okay. That will assist you with any HR question that you have. Nice. This stuff's getting complicated. And definitely with the post-COVID, I guess we're not post-COVID yet.
Wherever we are.
With the advent of COVID, it's getting a lot more complicated. Right. The questions and the way that you can manage your employees, what you can say to them. Right. And we have a team that can support you in navigating those different questions that you may have. Okay. So from the handbook to giving you understanding of policies that are within your state or your jurisdiction, we have support in doing that in terms of you can go in to our system and look at any state and see what the labor laws are there. That's awesome. So we can support you with that piece of it as well. So
I operate a business in a ready, fire, aim, type of setting, and most small businesses do the same. But if I could say anything, it's so important to step back, get your systems and processes in order, get your handbook in order, make sure you're compliant with where you need to be compliant, obviously have the insurance to back it up, and make sure your cloud storage is secure, your passwords are secure, multi-factor authentication, super important now.
We're all over it. Yep, and that's something that we recently, at Heartland, we really recently put that in place. Right. Right, and a part of that is a little bit inconvenient. Right. Too bad. But exactly. At the end of the day, you got people's lives in your control when you're getting their information. So at Heartland, we're doing everything we can to be, we like to think, that we are the most secure of our competitors. Okay. Right. And the work we're putting in place is to make sure that our information is secure. Right. And that there's a rare to none, to nil, possibility. We're doing everything we can to make sure that we don't get impacted negatively like you did in your situation there. I got lucky, and we just need to make sure all of our stuff is secure and do whatever we can do. And as a business owner in any type of business, we still have to protect our employees, our data, and everything else. And working with a good HCM provider is going to be super important because they can help you with some of those building blocks. So if you're thinking about it, now's a good time to switch
payroll going into the new year.
Absolutely.
I can't believe we're talking about going into the new year right now. But
time flies, man. Yeah.
You know, time flies. Kahlil, thanks so much for joining me
hey,
today.
Aaron, man, it's been a pleasure, man.